GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Mark Beaumont. Tonight we'll unpack a teen arrested after a daytime shooting on the plateau, review the city's $44 million office space lease, give you the latest on heavy traffic and transit delays, and a look at the watchdog's probe into a police shooting. Over to you, Emma.
The MAD Festival returns to Park Jean-Drapeau this weekend, featuring 3 days of live music, visual arts, and interactive workshops for families.
Tickets for the festival are priced at $35 for adults, $20 for youth, and free admission for children under 12, with online sales opening tomorrow.
The lineup includes local indie group Les Loops, reggae artist Toots Hibbert, and electronic duo Electric Youth, each scheduled for separate evenings throughout the 3-day event.
Lots to get to this evening, and the MAD Festival kicks off tomorrow at Park Jean-Drapeau, so let's dive into the news. Here are our top stories. A daytime shooting on the plateau left a 22-year-old man injured and led police to detain a 17-year-old suspect. The investigation continues as officers process the scene. Nadia Bellafuel has the full story.
Police say a gunfire exchange rattled a quiet stretch of St. Denis Street in the plateau just before noon, leaving a 22-year-old man with non-life-threatening injuries. Officers arrived within minutes, securing the scene and canvassing nearby buildings for witnesses. Detectives identified a 17-year-old male as the primary suspect, and after a brief pursuit through the neighborhood, he was taken into custody without further incident. The teenager is being held pending formal charges, while the victim was transported to a local hospital for treatment and released later in the afternoon. No additional victims have been reported, and police are continuing to gather evidence to determine the motive behind the shooting. Nadia Bellafuel, GMNA News, Plateau. At 3:23 this afternoon, officers from the Montreal police entered a residence after receiving a call about a knife-wielding individual. The confrontation ended in a shooting, prompting the province's Bureau des Enquêtes Indépendantes to open a formal investigation. The independent office, mandated to review all police-involved shootings, said it will examine the circumstances surrounding the use of lethal force, the actions of the suspect and the officers, and whether protocol was followed. Police have confirmed the incident occurred within the city limits, but have not released further details about injuries or arrests. The Bureau's involvement underscores its role in ensuring accountability for law enforcement actions across Quebec. Officials expect the inquiry to proceed according to established procedures, with findings to be released once the review is complete. The review is expected to take several weeks, and the Bureau will keep the public informed through regular updates.
Emergency departments across the province trimmed their average wait times by 11 minutes last year, a Montreal Economic Institute study shows. The analysis compared data from 2024 to 2025 and found the reduction consistent across urban and rural hospitals. Researchers said the decline reflects improvements in patient triage, staffing adjustments, and faster diagnostic processing. While the study stops short of attributing the change to any single policy, it notes that several health authorities introduced new electronic tracking systems during the period. The Institute cautioned that overall wait times remain above national benchmarks, urging continued focus on capacity and resource allocation. Health officials have not yet released a formal response, but the findings add a data point to ongoing discussions about how to ease pressure on Quebec's emergency care network for patients.
2 women were fatally shot in separate Montreal intimate partner attacks this week, leaving one suspect dead and another slated for trial. Police say the incidents are unrelated. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
Police say 2 women were fatally wounded in separate incidents that appear to be linked to intimate partner violence. The first attack unfolded in the early hours on St. Lawrence Street, where officers found the victim beside a shattered window and the alleged assailant later dead from self-inflicted injuries. Hours later, detectives responded to a home in the Villeray district, discovering another woman with fatal wounds and a male suspect still at large. That man was arrested, charged with homicide, and is scheduled to appear before a court next week. Both cases have prompted a heightened police presence in the surrounding neighborhoods as investigators continue to piece together the motives. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
A near 200-year-old mill in Huntingdon, Quebec, changed hands Thursday as a realtor confirmed the historic property was sold to an unnamed buyer. The landmark, located about 75 kilometers southwest of Montreal, had been on the market for several months before the transaction was completed. The sale was recorded at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on August 20. No details have been released regarding the purchaser's intended use of the building. Built around 1826, the mill has long been a symbol of the region's industrial heritage. The realtor handling the deal said the buyer chose to remain confidential, and no public statement has been made about redevelopment, preservation, or demolition. Officials noted that the property's future remains uncertain, and the site will stay closed to the public until new plans are announced as of now. We'll explore how the city is spending $44 million to lease office space for 700 workers. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. The City Council approved a $44 million lease to secure office space at Place Dupuis on Rue St. Catherine East. The 10-year agreement will accommodate roughly 700 municipal employees under the newly mandated 3-day-a-week return-to-work schedule. Officials said the move aims to consolidate staff who had been dispersed across temporary locations since the policy shift. The lease, signed this morning, will provide modern workstations, meeting rooms, and accessibility upgrades in the historic La Village district. City finance officials noted that the long-term commitment balances fiscal responsibility with the need for consistent service delivery. They added that centralizing workers should lower overhead and simplify management of space. Employees are expected to begin moving into the new premises over the coming weeks, while the city monitors occupancy costs and space utilization.
A funeral service for celebrated jazz pianist Oliver Jones will be held today at Union United Church in Montreal's Little Burgundy neighborhood, honoring his life and legacy. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Family and friends will gather at Union United Church in Montreal's Little Burgundy neighborhood on the 20th of August, 2026, for a funeral service honoring the life of Oliver Jones. The celebrated Canadian jazz pianist and composer whose career spanned decades and helped shape the city's vibrant music scene will be remembered with music and personal tributes. The service is open to the public, offering a chance for the community to pay respects. Organizers have arranged for a small ensemble to perform some of Jones's most beloved pieces, reflecting his lasting influence on local jazz. The ceremony today will conclude with a moment of silence before final interment. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Little Burgundy.
A Montreal dad logged 456 school emails in the past year, and more than half of them required a reply. Miguel Tremblay, whose 2 children attend a primary school in the city, counted every message that landed in his inbox in 2025. He found that 58% of the notes asked for some action, and it took him roughly 14 hours to read them all. Tremblay said he started tracking the messages to gauge how much communication families actually receive from schools. His findings echo a broader trend. Many parents in the area say they are overwhelmed by the steady stream of school notices and have begun monitoring their inboxes themselves. The data underscores the growing volume of information schools send home, prompting some families to look for ways to manage the flow.
Quebec prosecutors will today stay criminal charges against 11 Longueuil teenagers. The Crown said evidence was insufficient to proceed, ending the case tied to alleged events before the fatal police shooting of a 15-year-old boy in September 2025. The teenager's death had sparked citywide controversy and a policing review. Families of the accused expressed relief. Community leaders await clarification on the case's implications. The prosecutor's office declined comment, noting the matter remains under review. The stay means the youths will not face trial now while the original shooting investigation continues. The move arrives as justice officials continue to examine the September shooting, and the prosecutor said a formal hearing will be set for later this month. The Justice Minister has promised a review of police conduct, though no further legal action has been announced.
A new survey reveals Quebec teachers are quitting in record numbers as staffing shortages swell to over 2,000 vacant positions, straining schools across the province. Ramai Gaudreau has the full story.
More than 2,000 teaching posts sit empty across the province, according to the latest Ministry of Education data. A new survey of Quebec educators reveals that a growing number are abandoning the classroom, citing relentless staffing gaps and deteriorating working conditions. Teachers report juggling oversized classes, constant last-minute schedule changes, and limited support for students with special needs. Many say the strain has pushed them to seek employment outside education, often in healthcare or the private sector. The ministry acknowledges the shortfall, warning that the vacancy count could rise if retention measures remain insufficient. Schools are scrambling to recruit temporary staff while students face disrupted learning environments. Ramai Gaudreau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Now let's turn to the forecast and see what tonight's skies have in store.
A southwesterly jet stream pushes dry, high-pressure air into the valley, quelling any lingering showers. On this date, the all-time high for Montreal sits at 32.1 degrees, recorded in 2021 during a late summer heat wave that saw the city 3 degrees above normal for a week. The record low is 10.7 degrees, set in 2020 when an Arctic dip plunged the region into an early autumn chill, a full 5 degrees below the climatological average. By contrast, today's climatological normals hover around 22 degrees for the high and 13 for the low, a modest swing from the long-term mean. The live radar canvas is empty across southern Quebec, with no echoes from the St. Lawrence to the inland foothills. A shallow ridge of high pressure sits over the province, and the fast southwesterly jet at 210 kilometers per hour aloft is steering any moisture north. With the air mass drying, the calm will persist through the evening, and the next rain band won't arrive until tomorrow night. Turning now to tonight's outlook. At 6 p.m., the city sits under 22 degrees, mostly cloudy, with humidity at 51% and a gentle west wind at 13 kilometers per hour. Pressure is near average and nudging upward, sealing in a dry, stable air mass that the southwesterly jet at 210 kilometers per hour has been capping from aloft. With the ridge strengthening, temperatures will dip to 13 degrees overnight as radiative cooling proceeds under clear skies after the clouds thin. The UV index reads 5, and the wind remains light through the night. No weather alerts are in effect, so outdoor plans can continue uninterrupted. As the night settles, we now glance at the 5-day outlook. Looking ahead, Friday brings a quiet high of 23 degrees and a low of 12, under clear skies as the ridge remains anchored. Saturday warms to a high of 26 with the same 12-degree low, the sun spilling over a dry air column. Sunday shifts as a weak trough drifts east, lifting modest moisture that will produce light rain and a 55% chance, with temperatures holding at 26 highs and 18 lows. Monday sees the rain retreat, leaving partly cloudy conditions, a high of 21 and a low of 16, and a modest 25% chance of showers. Tuesday rounds out the period with overcast skies, 20-degree highs, 16-degree lows, and another 25% rain risk. The pattern stays governed by the persistent southwesterly jet, keeping temperatures moderate. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic snarled with road closures, the Good Food Spotlight shines, and PJ Morton rocks tonight's lineup. More coming up, we will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Southbound traffic on the Samuel de Champlain Bridge is closed, sending all vehicles to the Jacques Cartier crossing and adding 15 minutes to the commute. The Vidre Tunnel between Rue Panet and Boulevard Robert Bourassa remains backed up with speeds dropping to 10 kilometers per hour. The Ville-Marie Tunnel from Boulevard Robert Bourassa to Boulevard St. Laurent is also congested, slowing Autoroute 720. A minor slowdown persists near a 520, but traffic moves normally there. Construction on Highway 30 near Vaudreuil-Dorion continues, so expect queues at the on-ramps. The yellow metro line runs with reduced service after a signal failure at Barry-UQAM, with trains every 15 minutes until 6 p.m. The green line sees delays at Jean Talon, and bus route 55 is stuck in traffic. A broken bus on Rue Saint-Denis adds delays for routes 55 and 71, while Exo Line 2 runs about 10 minutes late.
Montreal's Parc Jean-Drapeau is buzzing with the Montreal Beach Pro Tour, an international beach volleyball showdown running from August 19th through 23rd. World-class players will spike, dive, and serve on the island, delivering the perfect summer night energy. Tonight, PJ Morton fills Theater Beanfield with Soulful Ranby as part of his Saturday night Sunday morning tour, a must-see for groove lovers. A short walk away, the MAD Festival lights up Place des Festivals, turning the Spectacles District into a runway of pop-up shops, daring designs, and live shows ideal for a creative stroll. For immersive art, SAT's Summer Domesicle series and the interactive Jus X de Lumiere's installations glow on St. Laurent, offering music, projections, and light play throughout August. And keep an eye on the calendar for the LA Galaxy showdown at Saputo Stadium later this week, a marquee MLS clash you won't want to miss. And now here's Jason with sports.
A quiet day on the local sports board. We will have more tomorrow.
Thanks, Jason. Good food based in Montreal's vibrant Mile End has been a kitchen staple for families craving fresh, chef-crafted meals without the grocery run. The company, which delivers weekly boxes of pre-portioned ingredients and recipes, was recently granted creditor protection by a Quebec court as it works through a restructuring under the company's Creditors Arrangement Act. While the legal process unfolds, Good Food will keep its doors open, allowing Montrealers to continue ordering and supporting local farms that supply the kits. This move safeguards jobs for the neighborhood's delivery crew and preserves a community hub where cooking becomes a shared experience. Good Food reminds us that resilient, homegrown businesses are the heartbeat of our city. Coming up, we'll break down why Liberal candidate Elaine Tremblay is exiting the race and what Finance Minister learned from Mark Carney.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Welcome back. Elaine Tremblay, a Quebec Liberal Party candidate, has withdrawn from the provincial election, marking the sixth Liberal departure as the campaign heads toward the vote. Matthew Lachance has the full story.
Elaine Tremblay announced his withdrawal from the Quebec Liberal Party's campaign on August 20th, citing personal reasons. His decision marks the sixth Liberal candidate to exit the race as the province gears up for the upcoming election. Party officials said the move comes amid a series of recent departures that have reshaped the Liberal slate across several ridings. Campaign staff are now reallocating resources to support remaining candidates, while local volunteers continue door-to-door canvassing. The Liberal leadership emphasized that the party remains committed to its platform despite the turnover. Voters in affected districts will receive updated ballot information in the coming weeks. Election officials are preparing to adjust the official candidate list before the filing deadline. Matthew Lachance, GMNA News, Montreal.
Finance Minister Christine Freichet met with former Bank of England Governor Mark Carney to discuss Quebec's ongoing trade agreement review, with the Premier noting potential improvements for the province. Colette Barbeau has the full story.
Christine Freichet, Quebec's finance minister, sat down with former Bank of England Governor Mark Carney to hash out specifics of a commercial agreement under review. Carney answered a series of questions about how the deal could affect provincial revenues, supply chains, and investment flows, emphasizing the need for clear, enforceable clauses. Premier François Legault, speaking later, noted that the negotiation framework sometimes allows for tweaks that directly benefit Quebec, from stronger labor standards to targeted fiscal incentives. Officials said the province is combing through the draft text, looking for any provision that could boost local industry or protect Quebec-based businesses as the broader trade pact moves forward. Colette Barbeau, GMNA News Plateau.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us tonight. Tonight's reminder of the community's resilience, like the heartfelt tribute to jazz legend Oliver Jones, shows why we stay connected. I'm Mark Beaumont. Tune in tomorrow for more stories that matter to our city. Until then, take care and keep the conversation going.